Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FB4 Daily. It is Friday, the 20th of September. Little bit different tonight. It's going to be a slight bit different. Myself and Peter were having a discussion, and we said, I'll do your pod if you do mine. And then we said, look, let's just do it together. So you can see me on screen. You can see Peter on screen. This will be a little bit of a mashup, the FB4 Daily plus the Cop Table. Peter will ask the majority of the questions. I'll keep an eye on the chat. And then I'll throw all that stuff back. And that's how it's going to go. This show is brought to you, of course, by Paddy Power. Paddy Power is a bookies. It is a betting app, betting website. You know the drill by now. If you gamble, try Paddy Power. Odds on football, specials on Liverpool, all that sort of stuff. All other sports and everything else beyond that. Gamble responsibly. If you're ever going to gamble or you're going to use Paddy Power, gamble responsibly. If you don't gamble, it's not for you. That's absolutely fine. Disregard everything I've said and we will go from there. Okay, let's get going, I suppose. Peter, you are the man this evening. You are the host. I'm going to sit back here and answer some questions. So, Peter, how the hell are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Gav. Good to be back on. I know Jay and yourself took over last week and done the Cop Table. So, yeah, looking forward to it. And good to have Zamaan with us for the first time as well.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Good to be here.
We're good.
All good. Yeah, so, first of all, I think we'll look back at the midweek game because we haven't covered that on the Cop Table. I know Gav might have done on his daily show, but just give us your thoughts on the performance midweek, Zamaan, on the Napoli game, and do you think Liverpool deserve to come away with something from that fixture?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously it's disappointing to obviously lose that game. I know obviously we lost it last year, the same fixture, again in an unfortunate manner, I would say, that last minute goal. But yeah, in regards to the midweek game, I think we were unlucky, obviously, to concede that penalty because it was never a penalty in a million years. It was never a penalty. And I think we deserved a draw from that game. I mean, even, with the chances that we had, it was a pretty, spells where we were on top, spells where Napoli were on top. So a draw kind of seemed the best footballing outcome if you're looking at it from that angle. So yeah, I think we should have come away with something, and a draw I would have been perfectly happy with. But despite what happened, we were unlucky to lose that game. But we have to keep our heads high. We lost the same fixture last year, and look what happened. So we have an easier group. So it looks positive apart from the loss. But we have to keep our heads high and try and move forward.
Yeah, totally. It's obviously disappointing to lose your first fixture, but we've got another 5 to go, and like you say, they've got to keep the heads up, got to keep the confidence going for the next game, which will be at Anfield as well. So hopefully, you can bounce back with 3 points. So looking forward to the Chelsea game on Sunday, Gav. We haven't got the best record, should I say, against the top 6 sides the past couple of seasons, away from home, should I say. So how important is it that we come away from Stamford Bridge on Sunday with the 3 points for you, Gav?
It's a great chance to bounce back, I suppose. As Zamaan says there, it's one of those where a draw the other night, would have been a perfectly fair result, although I thought it was an even enough game up to about 70 minutes, but I thought Liverpool were starting to take control of it on 70. I thought Napoli looked out on their feet for parts of it, but look, it's just one of those things, it's a penalty that's awarded, that's never a penalty, and the second goal doesn't really matter, so it's just one of those. But I think this side has shown over the last couple of seasons that they're brilliant at striking back when they've lost the game. 3 defeats in 31, I think one of our listeners told us the other night, and those 3 defeats have been City away, Barcelona away and Napoli away. So they're very good at bouncing back from a poor result or a negative result. Like Mick on the chat says 3 points would be massive on Sunday, and I think North Red on the chat is having a breakdown because VAR is dead to him. He refuses to acknowledge it now, and that's the party line he's going with. But when it comes to Sunday, the biggest thing for me, Peter, is I don't want to go out and as a Liverpool team and with the attitude of let's see what Chelsea have and let's see what way they line up and they come out to approach the game. I want Liverpool to go there as 5 wins out of 5, European champions, favourites for the league in my opinion, and go and impose ourselves, because as much as Frank Lampard has enjoyed a decent start to his Chelsea managerial career, I get the impression that Stamford Bridge is the type of place that if you can go out and impose yourself on the game and be really front foot and really, dominating in the game, that Stamford Bridge can turn quite quickly and can go very, very quiet. So that's what I want to see come Sunday.
Brilliant stuff. Cheers, Gav. Okay, Zamaan, also looking forward to this Chelsea game. Who do you see now that Eden Hazard has left Stamford Bridge to go over to Real Madrid? From that Chelsea squad, who's going to pose us the most threat? Do you see? Obviously, they've got Pedro, Willian, Pulisic now. Abraham and Mount have been doing some good games recently. So, from your opinion, who do you see from the Chelsea side looking most dangerous and the threat towards us, please?
So, I mean, there's obviously, a lot of talent in that Chelsea team. We know that, they are a top 6 side for a reason. I think obviously for this season, Pulisic's transfer into Chelsea is obviously their main sort of, new big signing. So I expect him to try and, pick out the pockets of space and try and cut us open. Play a pass in towards people like Tammy Abraham, obviously Mason Mount, joining up with Pulisic as well. So he's another, a decent young talent. So I think the combination of obviously Pulisic in there, plus the existing players, that have the experience, Willian already there. We know that they have obviously Ross Barkley, and who can obviously make an impact. And obviously there are other existing players, Kovacic, Pedro. They do have caliber players that can cause damage, and they have done before. But I would say our biggest threat is, Pulisic's impact on the game, as a midfield-based player, and Mason Mount's tenacity as a young player. I think he'd be quite dangerous if we underestimate him as such. And obviously Tammy Abraham and Hudson-Odoi. I don't know, is he injured or I think he's okay still to play. So yeah, again, he's another key player for them. So I think the young talent and Pulisic as well in that midfield could cause us a problem. However, I do expect us to deal with it in the ways that we have done with other teams. So I expect us to be deal with it pretty soundly.
Yeah, Gav, and at the game, I think I don't know if it's the Valencia game or the last Premier League game, Chelsea changed their fixture. I was reading on one of their pages today to a 3-4-3. Now, if they go with that formation, do you see that suiting Liverpool, or do you see us struggling against that sort of formation?
Do you know what? I'm a bit torn on it. I'm being honest with you. Like Mick on the chat there is asking about any word on Kante. Kante is supposedly back. Mason Mount won't make the game. I'm not, any other injuries they have, I'm not really up to speed on. But I know that Mason Mount is out. But Kante, after a sprained ankle, looks like he may be back. That's a huge thing for Chelsea. They did go with a 3-5-2 system. They matched up Wolves, went away to Wolves and matched them formation for formation and took the risk that they would be the better side. And they were on the day, although looking quite shaky near the end and conceded, a couple of goals. If they go 3 at the back, I'd fancy us very, very, very strongly. Because I feel that Liverpool have a great habit when they play against 3 of making a 3 against 3, air front 3 against their centre halves, and then what we do is we get our full backs to look after our wing backs, and then we go from there, and we have the ability, the quality, the pace to really hurt them. Having said that, if Chelsea go back to a 4 and you put Azpilicueta right back, I said it last night on the show. I think he's a great defender. He has been a great defender for Chelsea, but I think he's lacking a fullback now. I think he's being asked to be a little bit too attacking by Lampard, in my opinion, and he's struggling to adapt to that. He's usually a solid right back / right centre half, and he's been really good at that. But listen, if you put Mane up against him, running at him and space in behind, I think it's somewhere we can really target. If they go with Alonso a left back instead of Emerson, again, I really fancy us. But I do rate Emerson. I think he's a really good footballer, good going forward. He's decent defensively. So I'm a bit torn on the Peter, to be honest with you. 3 at the back has its more positives for me if they go 3 at the back. If they go 4, I think there's a few bits we can get at there. Centre half, they're looking like Rudiger could be. He's a doubt as well, so you're probably looking at Christensen and Zuma probably. Although they have got a young centre half, haven't they, that they brought in? I think he scored against Wolves. So I don't know what way they're going to go. I think there's positives to the 3-5-2. There's positives there for if they go with a 4, and if they do go with a 4, it'll probably be because Kante is back, and you can sit him in there with Jorginho, maybe a Kovacic, and then probably play Barkley, Abraham, and maybe a Pedro or someone like that up front. But man to man on this, I think we're a much better side than them. And again, we need to kill Chelsea from early. That's my opinion. If you let them get ahead of steam up and belief in them, we could be in trouble. But no, I think the Chelsea setup either way has positives for us. So let's see what they come and do.
Brilliant, cheers, Gav. Okay, then, Zamaan, just looking for the towards the Liverpool team. We're going to do a predicted lineup like we do each week. So, who do you see coming into the game? It's usually the midfield areas where it's where it tends to change the team a lot. So, what do you see as your starting 11 this Sunday, please?
So I think in terms of obviously, the changes from midweek, at Napoli and obviously the travel, I think he'll probably go with Adrian in goal, as we know, pretty predicted back 4, I would say, with Arnold and Matip coming in, Van Dijk and Robertson. I think he's going to go. I'm stuck between, obviously, with Wijnaldum will come in, I think, with Fabinho as well, and Henderson, and then Mane, Salah, Firmino. So the only one that I think obviously is the change is obviously for Wijnaldum for Milner. However, I probably Oxlade-Chamberlain's again on the bench, so he's available. But I would say most confidently, if I'm going predictive lineup, I would say it's just a change from Milner for Wijnaldum, and then the same team midweek that we played.
Yeah, it's interesting. You should mention Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain because he didn't play at all against Napoli, did he? And he got some minutes in the previous game against Newcastle, so he's looked like he could be an option for Jurgen Klopp to utilise this Sunday. So, Gav, what's your thoughts on your predicted starting 11, please?
Well, I like to go as strong as we can. I think we have MK Dons during the week, and then we are away to Sheffield United next weekend, I think. A few people on the chat there, like Chris Brack is saying, get Mane one-on-one with Azpilicueta early on. I absolutely agree with that. Maverick is saying Gini, Fabinho, Henderson in midfield. I think I agree with that as well, But Chris Brack has given us a team of Adrian, Trent, Matip, VVD, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Salah, Firmino, Mane. I think that's the one. There may be an argument there if they were to go with a 3 at the back and 2 wing backs. You're probably looking at, they probably will stick 3 in midfield and 1 player off Abraham. So there might be an argument there for an Oxlade-Chamberlain. In the midfield, that might be a little bit more room, and especially if Kante doesn't play, he would have Jorginho and Kovacic. I think he'd like a run at them. But that team for me is the team. People are making arguments around midfield, and You know, I know Naby Keita is back in training and stuff. He won't see the game on Sunday. You know, you have Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he's still finding his feet, I'm going to be honest. You have Shaqiri, who, you know, people thought we go through the international break and he'll be, you know, raring to go, and he stayed off international duty to get this. I think someone said he's played 11 minutes in total in the 2 games since we've come back, you know. So it's, for me, Peter, you know, I know it's about, and I've said this from the start, you use your squad early on in the season. We are very early on in the season. He's used it a little bit, not as much as some people would like, but I think that team that Chris Brack has given us of Adrian, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson at the back, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum in midfield, and Salah, Mane and Firmino up front, I think that team is absolutely spot on. And again, if we go out with the right attitude, I feel that we'll have a little bit too much for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see which lineup he goes with, because on the odd occasion, Klopp does tend to surprise people when everyone seems to think it's going to be this lineup or that lineup, and he'll spring a surprise and bring in a player who you wouldn't imagine would have started the game. So, yeah, I tend to agree that the back four will be the same as what it usually is: Trent, Van Dijk, Matip, and Robertson. But I just think in the midfield, I think Fabinho's definitely nailed on. Wijnaldum after his break in midweek, but it's that other midfield position where I think he might look to change it. He might look to give Henderson a rest, possibly due to his 2 international games.
It's funny you say that, because Mick on the chat asks, and it's an interesting question, and I'll leave it to you and Zamaan to answer. But is our lineup becoming a bit too predictable? He feels that we might need to be able to wrong foot other teams when it comes to where our lineup is. Is that a fair point?
I think,
so, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, you know, because obviously, you know, we're going to be playing a lot of games this season. You know, we're going to have to rotate it around, you know, with some of the injuries that we have, you know, and obviously, you know, we want to try and do a good few cup runs. You know, I think everybody will agree on that. You know, we really want to try and push for those cups, domestic cups. So I think, you know, rotating our team is going to be key. And obviously with some of these injuries, our team is going to become a little bit predictable. And, you know, obviously, we can't change that in terms of, you know, because of the injuries, we have to let them play their course and you know, see who comes back when, like Keita, you know, Lallana back to full fitness. You know, so I think he's mixed right in terms of our team may become predictable. However, a predictable team doesn't necessarily mean that you can nullify the team. You know, a predictable team doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, they're going to be able to stop us. You know, so you can have the most predictable team, but that at the end of the day, if everyone performs, we win the games. So I think I trust Klopp to try and make some small changes here and there. You know, for example, changing that Henderson position, you know, possibly putting Oxlade-Chamberlain, maybe not this game, but, you know, in the cup games, you know, you try and obviously he'll give the kids a run out as well. But yeah, I think it's important to do small changes, but as long as we put 100% in and keep our heads up, I think, you know, whether we're predictable or not, we can win those games and cause problems.
Yeah, just following on from what Zamaan was saying about the lineup becoming sort of predictable. With the injury to Keita, I think that's one of the reasons as to why the lineup has been predictable at times this season. But like I alluded to just before we took the question, Klopp has shown at times to be a little bit pragmatic, and he does sort of throw in a player there who you won't expect. So, like I was saying, for that reason, I think Henderson may well get a rest on Sunday. He may start on the bench, and I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain may well come into that midfield role for his legs basically, and breaking forward against Chelsea, who will also be looking to hit us on the counter attack. So I think the need for fresh legs in there, especially with Wijnaldum as well missing the game in midweek, coming on as substitute, I think it's vitally important that we have at least a couple of fresh players in there to deal with what threat that Chelsea's going to pose against us. So any more questions into the chat room?
Just a couple.
Move on to Yeah.
Just a couple of random ones because they know that my viewers like to ask random stuff. So, best flavour of cordial drink is the first one in. I know it's not football, but it's the answer is definitely apple and blackcurrant. What else? A chocolate digestive or a custard cream? I think that's an extremely unfair question. I'm going to be honest with you. That would tear a nation a bit like Brexit would, I think. But let me see. Barry Carr asks, how good is it to see Robbo back online? Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for that. He's back
Yeah,
now.
I've seen that before.
Look, we had a big discussion about it last night, and Andy Robertson shouldn't be paying any attention to Liverpool or any other fan around the world that wants to have a go at him. As I said last night, his story from where he's come from to where he is now is ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you. So Andy Robertson needs to avoid these people, ignore them, and just continue being the best left back in the world. That's basically it. Do you know what? Do you know what, Peter? I seen a name getting a mention there. Barry Carr says that in his opinion, I think it was Barry Carr and there's another guy, Maverick, there was saying that Chelsea minus Hazard are nothing to be feared, and they're also saying that Barry in particular feels that Chelsea can be a little bit spineless at times. We'll have to wait and see. Chelsea got beaten on the first day of the season in a game that they controlled for about 40 minutes and then just lost their way completely. Since then, okay, they had a dodgy result at home to Sheffield United, I think it was. They drew with Leicester at home, but they've gone away to Norwich and they've gone away to Wolves and won. So we're starting to get a bit of a clearer picture about Lampard's Chelsea and what fight they have in them, their creativity, how strong they are, how solid they are. So this is a big test for them on Sunday. They're going to see it as a big test. So, it's one of those where, do you ever see when a team is struggling a little bit and they just pull out a result? If they put everything into this result, I think it might be a little bit like that on Sunday. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm still confident. But if you want a good question, here's one for you. You pick a five-a-side team of the worst players you've ever seen playing for Liverpool. So you might want to throw a few names in there, Peter, before we finish.
Oh God!
Yeah, there was a question similar to this in one of the WhatsApp groups that I was in not long back, and there was some players in there who just mind blowing how they ever played for Liverpool Football Club. So I think mine 5 was something like Kippy, remember him? Frode Kippy.
Fjord Kippy, yeah.
Torben Picnic, he was another one. Cosma, Isvan Cosma, remember him?
Yeah. Graham
Souness. Absolute disgrace. Sean Dundee.
Paul Konchesky.
There now. Chris Brack has Atanji, Konchesky, Poulsen, Jovanovic and Markovic. I think that's a great set.
If you've got to pick a goalkeeper, then Atanji's up there with Karius, isn't he?
Oh God!
Oh no! Listen, that's the name that's not allowed to be spoken.
Yeah. So there's many more that you could actually add to that.
Stuart Downing
to that fact, but
Diamet has come in there from Chris Brack.
Tell you what one player who did sort of divide opinion when that was when that question was thrown out into the group, it was Igor Biscan. Some people was like,
no, he's not amongst the worst.
But then some people were saying that he had a great game. I think it was Juventus away, and he had such and such a game here. But I just never took to him whatsoever. I just thought
Aquilani.
He was.
Yeah, Aquilani's being mentioned
he
here.
Had talent, but he had his injuries and what have you. For him to come in as the replacement direct replacement for Alonso at the time was unfair. He was never ever going to be on the level of Xavi Alonso, was he?
No, nobody was. Like name a midfielder over in the 10 years since he left Liverpool that's been on Xavi Alonso's level. It'll be a short list. There's loads of names coming in here. I'm trying to pick out a few that are different. Antonio Nunes is one. Elzar, Diouf, Paletta,
Christian Poulsen.
Poulsen has been in there as well. There was loads of them. Do you remember and his name was in my head and it's gone now. He was a Swiss right back.
Degan.
Yeah, geez, he turned up and everyone thought he was going to be amazing, and he was either injured or just running into corner flags with balls. It was mad.
There's been a few like that them sort of free signings. So haven't you? Jovanovic
with that corner.
Leto, remember him?
Yeah. Mark Gonzalez is being given a shout out here. Barry Carr has admitted to having Aquilani on the back of the jersey. Fucking hell. But that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Get your money back, man.
But look, if anyone wants to keep that going, you can go on to Twitter, and if you want to ask that question to us on at LFC Day Trippers or at the Cop Table, we will retweet it, and you get loads of people giving you opinion, especially when it comes to players they don't like. That can go on for weeks. It really can. So, just before you continue, Peter, I just want to let you know, as this show is it is sponsored by Paddy Power. We will be giving away our free bet for the game tomorrow on tomorrow's show, which is Saturday.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 7:30. The show will be tomorrow. We give it away, and the idea, Peter, I don't know if you've heard, but what we're trying to do is we give away a 20 quid free bet every week. We get a viewer or / listener to either suggest a bet on the live show or tweet us the bet. We pick it, we put it on, and any money we raise will go to charity at the end of the season. Now, lads have gone absolutely berserk. They're like 200 to 1 shots and all. It's like, Van Dijk to score 3 bicycle kicks in the first half and stuff. Mad stuff. So what we're trying to do is, and I know a lot of people watching now will watch tomorrow. So you need to keep it fairly steady, lads. Even a 3 to 1 shot, 4 to 1 shot, get us 60, 80 quid going, get it in the pot. I don't want to get to the end of the season, as I said, and have no money because we've just blown all the money on mad bets, the kind of way. But just a few that are there for tomorrow, a few specials that are there for tomorrow before Peter continues on. We have Abraham and Salah to score in the first half is 10 to 1. We have Salah to assist a Mane goal, which has been a bit of a conversation since Burnley and stuff like that, 10 to 1. Over 3 goals, Shaqiri to score and Jorginho to be carded is 12 to 1. Ooh. We have Van Dijk to score and Liverpool to win 2-0, which basically means Chelsea not scoring. It's 12 to 1. Both teams to score and Adrian to save a penalty is 33 to 1. Liverpool to score 3 or more goals and Matip to score is 33 to 1. And the big one for tomorrow is over 2 goals, penalty to be awarded, and Kante and Fabinho both to be carded at 66 to 1. There's loads of them specials on Paddy Power. If you look up the specials for the game and LFC Day Trippers, you'll find all them odds there. But I just thought I'd throw them in and have a think about your bet for tomorrow, and lash them at me, whether it be on the live show tomorrow or on Twitter, and I'll pick the best one out. But I'm going to go for something conservative. I'm going to let you know that. Sorry, Peter, you walk away now.
Yeah, no problem, Gav. I think we've covered most of the bases we need to cover. So what we do at the end of each podcast, we do a score prediction. So it ties in nicely with what Gav's saying there on the Paddy Power free bet for tomorrow. So if you want to go along with any of our thoughts that we'll give, you can do that, or you can totally pick your own bet. It's entirely up to yourselves. So. Yeah, for the people who are listening and the people who are watching, get your thinking caps on and get your chance to win a free bet with the guys at Paddy Power tomorrow. So first of all, gonna go with Zamaan. Give us your thoughts on a score prediction for the game on Sunday, please, and your reasons for that prediction, please, Zamaan.
So basically, I think we'll win the game. I think we will bounce back from what happened midweek. I think we will win the game 3-1, and I believe Salah, Mane, and Firmino all on the score sheet, 1 each. And I believe a goal by Tammy Abraham will be scored by Chelsea. And the reasons why I think we'll win is because I think, as mentioned previously by Gavin and yourself, I think we will be too much for Chelsea if we can turn up and bounce back. I think Van Dijk will control the defence as he always does. I do think there is an error somewhere. I don't want to preempt anything, but I think there is an error, and it is in a way a tough game. So conceding a goal isn't all that bad as long as we can control the game. and win it. So those are my reasons. I think 3-1. I think we'll win the game, and I think it'll be a good positive result for us.
Excellent stuff. Cheers, man. Okay, then, Gav, same to you. Predictions and your reasons for them, please.
I had a prediction. I had reasons, and then lads are throwing in comments in here like, Robbo to score overdue and shut a few people up. Yeah, I'm all for that. Mick reckons we're grinding this one out. I'm going along them lines as well. Al has disappointed me. He's going for a 2-2 with a late penalty. And Barry Carr's made a point of Rian Brewster's debut. It's something I would like to see. I think Lallana might have been on the bench tonight on Tuesday night, and Rian Brewster wasn't, and I don't agree with that. I think we had a goalkeeper on the bench, we had a couple of defenders, a couple of midfielders, and for me, Lallana needs to drop off the bench and put Brewster in there. 2 reasons. If you're looking for a goal near the end, you have a natural striker to throw on, and he might pick something up. And if you're winning the game comfortably and you've 15 minutes to go and you're able to give a guy a free runner, he's your man to put on and give him and put him in there in a big Premier League game and go, look, take 15 minutes and enjoy yourself. So I'd like to see Rian Brewster on the bench. Prediction wise, I'm with Mick. I think we grind one out. I think we grind out with 2-1. Scorers, I really feel Mane gets one. I think he's just on a streak at the minute where I feel, and he wasn't great during the week, but I thought he was targeted big time in Naples with regards to physicality, and he wasn't given much change out of the referee either. So I think we dog out this game, but I think this Liverpool side, A, will be a little bit hurt from Tuesday night. B, know that they put everything into this and they can more or less get a week off. Not a complete week off, but they get a week off from competitive football to recover and get themselves ready for Sheffield United. So I'm going to go with 2-1. I do think Mane gets one. I have a fancy on Van Dijk though. So I'm going to throw Van Dijk in there. And I don't think it's Abraham that scores for Chelsea. I think they might score a penalty. I think they might get a penalty, and I think it's Jorginho that'll take it. Ross Barkley will be well and truly told to go away, like he should have been on Tuesday night against Valencia. So for me, Peter, 2-1 to Liverpool. Yeah, just scraping it. I'm with Mick is my man on the chat tonight, and I'm going to go with him with that.
Okay, so that's 3-1 for Zamaan and 2-1 for Gav. Yeah, my own thoughts. I've not had too much time to think about it, but just going from a sort of from an instinctive point of view, I do think it's going to be a very tough game. I do think that the Chelsea will cause us problems. Obviously, we've seen in the Super Cup final that they probably was the better of the two teams on the night, even though we did lift the trophy. They're going to be out looking for revenge on that. They're looking to bounce back from a defeat as well against Valencia. So it's going to be a very, very tight game. And I'm torn between, as Gav said, 2-1 or even a 1-0. I don't think there's going to be many goals in this game. I just think that both teams are gonna be fighting for every ball, every tackle, every pass. It's gonna be important for both sides. So I'm gonna go with a 1-0 Liverpool victory in this game. Very, very tight. And I'm gonna go with Roberto Firmino to score the goal. So if anybody wants to follow our 3 bets, you've got Zamaan 3-1, Gav 2-1, and myself 1-0. You can listen back and can pick up the scorers if you want as well. So that's our predictions for the game on Sunday. So yes, just before we wrap things up, then anything else that anybody wants to cover in the chat room there, Gav? Anything standing out for you?
There's nothing. They're having a little talk about Joe Gomez. I suppose Joe Gomez has to be. I don't think he gets into the side at the moment. I really don't. No. Mick reckons their fitness might prove vital.
Fresh legs important.
Al reckons that it's going to be a hard game. No quarter given. He expects a red card. Stephen reckons 4-2 to Liverpool. North Red says 2-0. Salah both goals. But other than that, no, just a lot of predictions. But lads, as I said, just keep the bets and get them into me tomorrow. I am going to pick something conservative to try to get this off the ground. Otherwise, it's going to start getting embarrassing.
Okay. Well, are you back on with your live show tomorrow, Gav? Before I just do the thanks for the end.
Yeah, we're back 7:30 tomorrow. We've done the preview tonight, so we it's Saturday night. We usually we're talking about a game that's happened, but with the game being on Sunday, we just have a bit of laugh tomorrow night. I'll probably get a viewer on to talk with me tomorrow night. We'll open a few cans, we'll have a laugh, and we look forward to the game.
Okay, so this podcast has been in association with Paddy Power from the LFC Day Trippers side of things. On the Cop Table, we also have an association with the @Liverpool Online Facebook and Twitter, Instagram pages, and the lads over there put all our podcasts out on their pages, so to say. Also, for anybody new who's listening to the show, the Cop Table are a big supporter of the No More Knives campaign, which is in Liverpool with a guy called Paul Bentley. You can follow him on Twitter, Facebook, all his social media things, doing great things over there with Lee Butler and the No More Knives campaign in Liverpool, which is really growing strong, and it's something that we've been pushing for the past 12 months and been on board with them, and they're on board with us as well. So it's a great link up, and it's a fantastic cause, and doing many great things to prevent the use of knife crime in Liverpool and the Merseyside areas. So check all their pages out as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Everybody who's commented in the chat room. Obviously, Gav's took that side of things tonight. I've not been had much access to the group myself. So thanks everybody once again. So, and big thanks to Gav and Zamaan for joining us tonight.
No worries. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Cheers, guys.
Very welcome. So yeah, speak to you all very soon. Over and out.